Am I actually going to tell you that you shouldn't buy a Grand Seiko? The brand everybody, including yours truly, keeps heaping praise on? Yeah, kind of. Let us start this video by showing you the GS I had for just a couple of weeks. This is the SPGA 435, an elusive limited edition of which there are only a couple dozen on this planet. Let there be no doubt. It is an amazing watch, at least because it is as hard to find as a needle in a haystack or a Daytona waiting to get picked up by a random passerby. Not only does it deliver on its promises, it in fact over-delivers, and that might just be its problem. In many regards, it's the perfect watch. There's really not much to complain about. Powered by a spring drive movement, it leaves all things mechanical in the dust and boasts an almost eerie, awe-inducing precision. When is the last time I set this watch? I set it exactly once, and you'd be hard-pressed to detect any significant deviation. Then there's the sublime metalwork, our indices which play with light in such enticing fashion that the most sparkly of sparkling diamonds would have a hard time keeping up. Last but not least, there is the Zaratsu polishing of the case, which deserves me whispering about it in religiously reverent fashion. I'm kidding, but actually just a bit. We are talking about what effectively amounts to black polish, not just on a small component, but on the entire case. In short, I'd consider it a perfect watch. But, and that is the crux of the matter, I'm not a perfect person. I do stuff, I move around. I don't have a force field around my wrist preventing each and every collision. Bumps into doors and walls do happen, and they will inevitably lead to more than a few scratches. Now, as mentioned, I don't have this watch for long, and you better believe that I took good care of it. Despite me babying the thing to the best of my abilities, it already shows some wear. It collected a dent on top and some surface level scratches along the case. Objectively, it's all quite minor and not that much to worry about. Or at least it wouldn't be if that watch wasn't so darn near perfect to start with. It's one thing to scratch, let's say, the front bumper of a Jeep Wrangler. It's another thing entirely to scratch your brand new Tesla Model S. The Jeep looks cool with dents and scratches, the Tesla not so much. That is why now I'm increasingly hesitant to wearing the watch at all. It only leaves the case for, well, filming purposes, or when I want to enjoy it in the secure privacy of my home, sitting on a bed with pillows all around me. In that environment, it's still a joy to behold, given that the light is adjusted in such a way that it doesn't expose and force me to look at its glaring, tiny, but also noticeable imperfections. The question arises, is it worth it to have a watch, a perfect watch, which is too perfect for this imperfect world? Well, certainly if you have many watches in your rotation, it might still be worth it. Wearing it only on a weekly and not on a daily basis will slow down the accumulation of damage, entropy creeping into and distorting this beautiful object. On the other hand, if you plan on having just one or very few watches, and especially if you are OCD like me, I'm not sure I would recommend a Grand Seiko to you. In the end, you might just find yourself walking like a robot for the rest of your life, constantly calculating to keep your arm and the watch out of danger. Or, alternatively, you might be locking it away in a safe for good and uploading rants on YouTube, like me. I'd say stay away from a new Grand Seiko with broad, highly polished flanks and an equally scratch-prone top like this model. Or just get one second-hand with its virgin-like beauty already deflowered, making it less painful to add a new scratch to a couple existing imperfections. With that, my dear viewers, I bid you farewell. Rest assured that I still love Grand Seiko, but sometimes it's quite healthy and even necessary to criticize what you love.